Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Shazia, for staying back uh, and listening to the gibberish that I have to say. But thank you for having me. And I feel proud to stand here today, not just as an anchor, as a news person, as an editor, but on the occasion of celebrating women. To stand here and celebrate women actually is the biggest honor. We've heard the panel before us, and there have been diverse views. The only way I look at this is we can, we do, we will. We will conquer. There is no other way to do it. And we are doing it slowly and steadily. The only uh, the only lament that I have is that it's a little too slow. And we need to move forward. I heard the panel here discussing, most of the women who come forward are single women. I want to give the other perspective. You don't have to be single. You can be a mother, you can be a wife, you can be a daughter, and you can take care of all of those responsibilities and still be a kick ass professional. And I think that's the road that I've traveled. Yes, balancing is an art that women learn very well in their lives and they manage it. We are multitaskers. We can do 10 things at the same time and not even change the pace of our breathing because that's the way God made us. We have to hone those skills. And the very important point made by Shreya, women leaders have to hold hands and bring those who are behind us because support system will probably not come so easily from the other gender as it can from women themselves. In the leadership position, I think that's what we owe to the society. And whatever we do, we are because there is a society, we are because there are certain positive vibes that came our way, and many of us achievers have moved forward because we are blessed and we've had that support. Somebody might just be in a little bit of a shade. Bring them out under the sun, bring them out under the spotlight. And that's what we as women leaders have to give back to society. If I just talk about the media industry, may I tell you, a survey of 55 such news organizations shows that in magazines, only 13%, 13 odd percent women are in decision making positions. And by decision making positions, I can point out to editor in chief, executive editors, managing editors, bureau chiefs, some of these decision making positions. In magazines, only 13%, in channels, only 20%, and in overall newspapers, about 26%. We are 50% of the population, if not more in some states. Why should only, average of 13, 20, or 26% be in leadership positions? Do we lack skills? No, we don't. Do we lack perseverance? No, we don't. Do we lack smartness? Do we lack dedication? We don't. Then why is this the number that we see? I think it's time leaders like myself, like Shreya, like Shazia, take the onus upon themselves to change these statistics because we have to encourage. I happen to be the editor in chief of two channels. There are many women who, have we have lots and lots of women in the newsroom. There's no two ways about it. But can they come up to the decision making, positions? I also see a divide in the language. You have regional and Hindi language, lesser women in the decision making process. English, maybe a little more. But today, I don't know if there are too many women in the editor-in-chief position in English or in Hindi. I don't see that many of them. The idea is to change all of that. And how does that happen? That can only happen if we hold each other's hand and bring each other forward. Competition, I always say, is not from within. And Shreya will remember this because I say that a lot. We are not competing within our own newsrooms. We have to compete outside. Within the newsroom, we have to be the source of strength for each other. Politics in media has put politics in politics to shame. It's a shame. I would say it's a shame because what are we doing? For us, every member of the media fraternity is family. That's the way it should be. Yes, there has to be competition because the best has to reach the top. I'm not somebody who's against competition. But why should we be so involved in pulling down each other that we become, just in politics, a statistics that is so shameful that we put even politics to shame. It's not a high that I'm proud of. It's time to change this. Easier said than done, but yes, there are male bastions. I can only tell you from my life experiences. As a reporter on the street, you've got to go and get the story. I think men have an advantage. They can take their sources out for a drink. They can have drinking binges with their sources. We women have never had that opportunity. Networking extremely important, it was said. When I started my career 33 years ago, कहाँ नेटवर्क करने जाते हम? वी मेट पीपल ओनली इन देयर ऑफिसेज. आप ऑफिस जाइए, अपॉइंटमेंट लीजिए, मिलिए और एक सीधे रास्ते से स्टोरी निकालने की कोशिश करिए. रात को तो हम दारू के अड्डे पे नहीं जा सकते. We haven't been able to do that, and it's not something we want to do, and it's not a societal norm, and many of us follow those societal norms. But does that bring your career to an end? I'm proud to stand here and say, no, it doesn't. We have the guts, we have the sincerity, we have the hard work, we have the application, and we are damn smart. We can do it. We can do it with the given restrictions that we have, and many of us have done this. Why is it not happening more in our uh, in our fraternity? The one thing I want to leave with the younger generation is lives have changed, reporting has changed. There were no WhatsApp groups in the past. So one went out and one did it through one's own sheer hard work and the sheer application of fixing, 5 appointments in a day. At least one will yield a story. That's the average you try and keep with. Sometimes 10 appointments will not yield a story. But we went through that very hard rigor. The rigor is somewhere missing today. That rigor has to come back if journalism has to survive. And I'm only going to talk about journalism because that's the field I've been in, I have experience with. You have to be at it. I've missed several milestones with my peer group because I was parenting. I had young children, and for me that was also important to be in the milestones with my children, to be the best mom, to have a child and both children with a 10-year age gap, both children never feeling the absence of having mom around. Oh, my mom's never around is something that we hear from children very easily. I've tried that my children don't feel the absence. Did I have to keep my ambition in check? Of course I did. Did my peer group, who, whether it was men or women, did they move forward before me? Of course they did. But what it takes is to tell yourself, it's all right, I'll catch up if I'm meant to. If it is ordained, it will happen. But it will only be ordained if you keep your hard work and your sincerity and your rigor going on the side. I I moved from print because print was a nice cocoon. File a story, whether you're in the office, whether you're at home filing your story, it doesn't really matter. You're not required. And I was extremely loath to change that profession to come into television. I said, this will have an upheaval in my life of the kind I won't be able to manage because home, kids, will always be a priority. Time's up showing. I'll just take 2 more minutes. So I always have had that priority that whatever I do should be done well. Perfection to kabhi bhi nahi hota. It's only a goal that we strive to reach, but at least do it well. Do it with your full sincerity and with the satisfaction of your heart. But then the opportunity came along in 2005, and it was knocking on the door would be an understatement. It was banging on the door in a manner that I couldn't avoid it. And I said, okay, let me take the risk. This was after 3 or 4 months of the banging happening on the door. I said, chalo yaar, ek saal karke dekhte hain. And when I quit print, I was told I won't survive 3 months. Here I am, about to complete 20 years. So, and did I do something different? No, I didn't. I just stuck there. I just said, यार आए हैं तो करेंगे, हार नहीं मानेंगे. And that's the spirit that I think all women need to do. Didn't know how to talk, didn't know how to face the camera, only knew what to do with a pen. But what the hell? What's there that we can't learn? And when we learn, we can also perfect it. So, all you women out there, just go there. You can, you will, and you always do. Make yourself proud, make the society around you proud, make your families proud. And men, just once in a while, just encourage, especially men in leadership position. Don't just write away women. Not that these days they allow you to write them away, but a little bit of indulgence would go a long way in getting women forward. And to all those women leaders, we owe it to our own conscience to bring women forward, to make them succeed. If I can bring in 5 women to leadership position while I'm in a leadership position, I would have done my bit. I'm on the road, I'm trying. I'll present my report card when I hang up my boots. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.